Hey everybody, what's up? Ron Harris here with Ron Harris Muscle. It's Ask Ron Live. It's a Friday. Haven't done one of these in a while. I've been getting some requests for a hair transplant update, so I thought I'd start with that. If we have anything else, we'll keep going. So it was 5 weeks yesterday since I got the transplant procedure done in Istanbul, Turkey, where it is much cheaper to get it done than it is in the United States of America. I went to the same place that Chris Bumstead and Ian Valier had gone the month before, called Now Hair Time. Greg Doucette, Coach Greg, also went there. I actually had my trip, everything booked before Bumstead and Ian made their video. So it was just a coincidence, but they are one of the top places. And I'm pretty happy so far with the results. Of course, this is what they call the ugly duckling phase for good reason. If you've ever seen ugly ducklings, you know, that's that awkward phase where the ducklings, they're kind of molting and shedding and their hair looks wispy and weird and nasty. That's what I'm going through right now. So you can see where the transplant, you see this line, that's where the hair is growing. This area here, that's sort of, the skin is sort of red still. And it's going to be like that for a while. It's going to take about 4 months from the time of the procedure for this just to really fill in. And it's going to be a full year for the full result. Now, I also had it done on the crown. So I'm going to tip my head forward and let you see that. That looks a little less dense. You can see that. That is a much less successful area for hair transplants simply because there's not as much blood supply and blood flow to the hair follicles on the top of your head, the crown area. I am having a PRP session done on Monday. That's where it's platelet-rich plasma. So they'll take, I'm going to have a nurse practitioner who's going to do it, draw some blood, puts it in like a centrifuge, spins it around so that I don't know. I actually should look into it a little bit more. But they did one procedure and they'll inject that and she'll inject that into various parts. I think I just need it in the crown. I don't think this area is as necessary to do the PRP, but they do recommend having it done at least 4 times in the months following procedure. They recommend 6 if you can do it for best results. I'll do 4. I don't know if I'll do 6. It's a little pricey, you know, and I'm on a budget now, kind of just working part-time for Muscle Tech for the time being. So as far as other drugs that'll take, like I'm not going to be using finasteride. Finasteride, even a topical, it's not recommended for men my age. It can cause erectile dysfunction, among other problems. I don't want that. I like having erections. Finasteride is a no-no, but Propecia, minoxidil, which goes by the trade name, is it Propecia or Rogaine? Minoxidil, I'm going to be using a 5% solution for that. They actually sell a foam at Costco, where my wife works, and my son works there too. A 5% minoxidil solution. You can put it on once or twice a day. I'm not going to start that for probably about another month. And they also gave me some different oils and stuff like that. But yeah, for now, I'm just, enduring this. I could have worn a hat everywhere and to the gym or whatever, but I got nothing to hide. And I'm really, who have I got to impress? My wife, she's seen me at my worst. She's the only one I really care about impressing or not impressing. You guys got any comments, questions yet? Nope. Okay. So no updates yet on Samson Dauda as far as his coaching situation. You keep hearing, I'm hearing Neil Hill's name come up a lot. Nothing has been confirmed, not one thing. Will he coach himself up until this show? I mean, I don't know if it's worth, I guess it is worth getting a coach for the next weekend. He's going to be competing in 1 week again at the Arnold UK. He did make his video Monday morning where he had gone to the ER on Sunday and apparently was cleared by the doctor. Or was it Monday? He was cleared by the doctor as far as didn't seem to have any major health issues other than some sort of respiratory infection, a flu, something like that, something that can be cleared up in a matter of a week or so with antibiotics. But yeah, I mean, I'd hate to be training for a show of that caliber in any impaired situation, such as being ill like that. But he's not going to let it down his fans over in the UK. He's made it clear that he has plenty of family and friends over there they've already bought the tickets. A lot of them haven't seen him compete since the last time he competed in the UK a few years ago. So he really wants to be there and represent the UK as right now the top bodybuilder, obviously from the United Kingdom. So he's not going to miss that. And I don't blame him. It seems like we're not sure about Hadi. I see Hadi's name as tentative on a couple websites. So don't know if Hadi Chupan is entering the Arnold UK. I don't even know what the top prize. I think it's like 100,000, which is still it's a good chunk of change. But I don't know if he made not proper visa arrangements to travel to the United Kingdom. Haven't heard anything out of his camp either. Actually, let's take a look. Why don't we take a look at his social media here? See if we have any indication from either Hani or him. Because I'm curious now. I'm curious. Let's see. Let's go to Hadi Chupan. Let's go to Hani first. Okay, does Hani have anything? Represent. Share screen. Okay, so this is Hani Rambod's stories. Just curious if there's anything here about traveling. Nope, that was it. It was his buddy's. This is an old one that he keeps pinned. There's a victory shot after winning with his other big client, the current Mr. Olympia, Derek Lunsford, who's looking huge. Yeah, imagine having the top 2 bodybuilders in the world as your clients. And he's also got Chris Bumstead, the top classic physique guy, and he's coached many other Olympians. Yeah, nothing there. Let's see what Hadi's up to. I'm curious. Let's look for Hadi Chupan, shall we? Hadi's down there. Okay. So I always start with the stories. Great picture of him getting his award, holding his Arnold trophy. He was in Iran. Is he back in Iran? Maybe he is. That's his family, his wife. He's got 3 kids, it looks like. Yep. 3 kids. So that's what keeps him going. His wife and 3 kids, I'm sure. More pictures. Oh, so this was Diego. Okay, so this must have been his homecoming. Yeah, he's back in Iran. Had a great welcome back. His fans love him. He's already training hard again. What's the translation say? He's thanking God for generosity and merciful. Nothing about competing again in 7 days. So I'm really curious. Is Hadi going to do the Arnold UK, or is he all good now until the Olympia? Like I said, it was only a difference of 2 weeks. He only had to stay prepping for another 2 weeks, which is no big deal for a warrior like that who's got plenty of drive and discipline. But don't know. Yeah. They haven't really updated. Oh, look at this cool machine. What is that? It's a rare adult machine, it looks like. Yeah. So these are all from a week ago or more. These are older now. Let's go to Arnold Sports. Because Arnold Sports Festival should have an updated. So Arnold Sports UK, you can go to that and go to events and Arnold Expo, meet and greets. I want to see guests and athletes. Okay, athletes competing in 2024. Okay, so I don't know if this has been updated. I don't think so, because Rubiel Mascara is not in the show. I think this must have been their initial lineup. Holling said, I'm sure he'll do it. It's Arnold UK. Akeem probably do it. Antoine, Shaban, De La Rosa. Yeah, I don't think this has been updated in a while, guys. Doesn't look like it. So we don't know. Yeah. Not really getting a lot of. Not really going to stop the screen there. All right, guys. Well, so I'm not getting any questions or anything. I guess I'm just going to leave it up to there. That was my hair transplant update. If you guys have any questions about the hair transplant procedure, not the technology of it, I don't know that, but I can tell you what it was like and what the recovery's been like. And as you see, It's growing in, but it's going to take a while. This is already filling in, but that I had hair there. This is going to take a while. This whole area is going to take a while to fill in. And this is going to be the tricky area. That's going to be the one I'm not really sure if it's going to come in fully or not. I'm going to do everything I can. PRP treatments. I'll be doing minoxidil solution on it, foam, once or twice a day. Don't want to use finasteride, but I'm hoping for the best. And by the time I'm seen in public again at the New York Pro in May, I'm hoping that my hair looks pretty good. Fasting, feasting, fasting. If there's no questions, thanks, man. Any questions at all, guys? Any questions at all? I'll give a good one that came from my son-in-law Musa, who trains down Elevation Fitness in Miami, where Bumstead actually did a video a few days ago. He asked me how long he should rest between sets because he feels like he's flying through his workouts. If it's a compound movement that's very demanding, like squats or deadlifts, I think 2 to 3 minutes, even, depending on how winded you are, 2 to 3 minutes is probably about right. If it's an easier exercise like curls, lateral raises, pec deck, something like that, that's not as taxing and demanding, I think about 90 minutes. 90 seconds to 2 minutes is fine. Certainly no more than 2 minutes you shouldn't need. Oh, here's a good question. Yeah, so James said he prepped himself for the Arnolds. I think, to be clear, he said on the podcast that he prepped himself at the very end. I think he had some help from Branch Warren. But Milos, he was having trouble hearing back from Milos in a timely fashion. He wasn't satisfied with the communication between the two. And that's key. I mean, I'm not going to name anyone in particular, but I've heard of coaches that they couldn't even be reached on the day of the show. The athlete's counting on them. They really know at that point, it's so critical. Every little thing you eat or don't eat, drink or don't drink. Should I rest? Should I put my feet up? Should I put another coat of tan on? What do you think? Take a look at me. You need to be able to reach your coach. Of course, I'd say during the first stages of the prep, you can get back to them within a few hours. That's acceptable. That's fine. Or maybe even just at the end of the day, if it's not something critical. But once you're in that final stage of prep, the last couple of weeks, particularly the last week, sometimes adjustments need to be made constantly, several times a day. So it's very important. That's one quality you want to look for in a coach. And you would probably want to vet that by speaking to clients of theirs, current clients, past clients, say, how accessible was this coach? Especially toward the end, were they responsive, or were there times where you couldn't hear back from them for a day or two, which, in the last couple of weeks, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. You really need to be able to reach your coach, because everything counts at that point. The water, the sodium, the carbs, everything matters. PEDs, should I stop this? Should I start that? Should I cut back? Should I increase? It's all critical. All right. Masteron. So Masteron, let's look at the overview of Masteron so we can give you a little science behind it. I know I should know that off the top of my head. Masteron, drostanolone propionate, anabolics. So it's been around since 1970. It was for breast cancer. So yeah, it's a DHT derivative, much like Tren. A lot of people used it for years and years as a hardening agent, still do. It's a very, very commonly used PED, or steroid, I should say, for contest prep for the final stages. I don't know if it's exactly interchangeable with Tren, but people are on this Tren bandwagon now, like Tren's, from heaven sent or something. It's better than everything else. It's a very powerful steroid, Trenbolone. But Masteron has been used successfully for bodybuilders in contest prep to get that hard, grainy look, veins and everything for many, many years, decades. We're talking about like 40, 50 years back. So yeah, it's been around since 1970. But I did many preps, and people would ask me, how much Tren were you on there? And by the time I got to the contest, I wasn't on Tren. I'd switched it for Masteron. So Masteron, not really a steroid you want to be using for an off season. I don't usually see it paired with other drugs, but if you're using it for, if you're talking about off season stacks, I don't think you want Masteron in there. Test should always be a base, and then add something to it like a Deca, An equipoise is good. Test and trend together always works well too. But test and Deca, test and EQ, those are tried and true combinations. It's like peanut butter and jelly for making good solid gains in the off season. But masteron, I used it primarily. I never used it in the off season. I used it for probably 6 or 8 different contest preps, and I did feel it helped give me a drier, grainier look. Toward the end, I would see all the little muscle fibers and everything. I was super lean too. Understand that nothing's going to take the fat off except your diet and cardio. But masteron, you don't retain water on it. It does help you get that polished look, that really chiseled look on stage. That's why it's been part of bodybuilding contest preps for decades and decades now. Yeah. So Tim, I'm not sure what you're using it for. I'll test an EQ now. So if you're in a gaining season, like a bulking or whatever, an off season, if you're not in a prep right now, I wouldn't bother with masteron. Test and equipoise is great. I would swap out the EQ for Deca if you haven't already done that. Throw in maybe an oral, but not all the time. Like 30 days on, 30 days off of like Dianabol or Androl. Those always work well for people. But yeah, I mean, these are the tried and true bulking drugs. If you can't put on size with test Deca and D-ball or test equipoise and Anadrol, just a very simple cycle like that. Either you're not training hard enough, you're not eating enough, you're not resting enough. It's not the gear. It's not the gear, because those have put on millions and millions of muscle on millions of pounds of muscle on people over the years. So you're welcome. Doing test and EQ now. You're welcome. Will Giles be attending the Arnold? Yes. Giles is going to the Arnold UK. I'm not sure what the pay-per-view situation is on that yet. I should go back and look at that. Let's take a look. Live stream. Okay. I'm going to present that again. Let's take a look. Take a look at what Arnold UK is doing for their live stream. Okay, here we go. So go to live stream. What are they doing for a live stream? Ooh, Arnold Sports. That's the Columbus live stream. That's not the one I wanted. Arnold Sports UK. That's what I want. Okay. Anything about a live stream here, guys? I don't see anything. Become a sponsor. I'm pretty sure they're going to have a live stream, but I don't see anything here about it. Tickets, watch now. 14 September. What the heck is that? 14 September. Arnold Sports Festival UK. What does that say? Why is the date on that? That says March 15th through 17th. Why does it say tickets on sale now for September 24 up here? That doesn't make any sense. Watch now. What happens when I click on watch now? Ooh, that's loud. Wow, that was loud. Okay. So I'm still looking for Expo 24. I'm still looking for something about live streaming. I don't see anything. So I'm assuming they're going to have one added soon. These Arnold people, they got their shit together. They're not going to not have a live stream. This is just tickets, show tickets. I mean, you would think they would have a link somewhere easy to find for a live stream already at this point, because we're a week away from the show. Don't know. Interesting. Yeah. So we'll be doing coverage for sure. Giles is going to be on scene, so we'll be doing like a wrap up with him. Screen icon, your address bar. Let's just say, I don't want to remove myself. So, not sure what we're going to do as far as a watch party situation. We would need a live stream for that. If it's a pay-per-view live stream, I'm not going to do the same thing that we did for the Arnold, where we're showing it at the same time that it's on, because that's theft. I'm not going to infringe on their copyright and all that stuff. But Giles will be doing wrap-ups for us, maybe get a winner interview. I mean, Giles will be there. So, no, we're still waiting on Samson to tell us who's his coach. It's funny, I did that video yesterday, and whenever I do the posts on social media, which are really just to promote the video, and I want people to go to the video and leave comments under that, but instead I got like 1,000 comments on the Instagram post. I mean, what am I going to say? Don't comment, don't post here, go to my YouTube channel. But it's funny how many people a lot of people were naming all kinds of top coaches. Obviously, the ones that we went over yesterday. Connie would be the first choice for a lot of people. We talked about Chris Aceto, Neil Hill, Chad Nichols, Stefan Kienzel, who's from Austria. My bad, I said Germany, Austria. Patrick Tour, Matt Jansen, Abdullah. I forgot about Justin Miller. A lot of people were saying Dave Palumbo should coach him. And then I was hearing like it was getting into a lot of obscure names I've never heard of. They must be just, there's a lot of coaches out there, but obviously Samson's going to go with someone who's got a really solid reputation, a top coach, and a big name, not just because they're a big name, but these guys are big names because of their proven track record at the highest levels. Arnold Classic, Olympia, New York Pro. I mean, these coaches, all those coaches I've named, have had many, many winners, many, many champions. So it's could be Neil Hill, could be somebody else. We're going to find out eventually. I can't imagine he's going to dial himself in. His coach, his wife, Marlena was his coach in the early stage of his career. So between the two of them, I think they're capable of cruising into a show like this. But he might want to enlist the services of somebody to really help guide him one more time, just peak him one more time, because this is it. After this, he's done till the Olympia. Let's see. This last one was a great show. Most people were out their best, which is rare. Yeah. And we had some surprises. I mean, Rafael Brandao looked fantastic. He was a big surprise for me. Antoine looked really good. Hollingshead, the best Hollingshead I've ever seen. John De La Rosa, who worked with Patrick Tour, that was the best De La Rosa I've ever seen. Even Akeem, who worked with Aceto for it, that was a better version of Akeem than I've seen in a long time. So, and Hadi, some people are saying the 2017 Vancouver, 2019 Vancouver, they'll name a couple other shows, but as far as shows that I've been to see Hadi, which is mostly all the Olympias that he's done, this is the best Hadi I've ever seen. So I was very, very impressed. James must be looking for a new coach as well. Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, Milos, once he said that he prepped himself toward the end, I think it was firmly established in all our minds that he's not working with Milos anymore. I would never throw Milos under the bus. I think he's a great coach. He's gotten a lot of people into fantastic shape. He gets one loss and people are throwing him under the bus like he sucks. He doesn't get people in shape. He's gotten many people in shape many, many times. And like I said, he's a very, very concerned coach. He's there. He's invested emotionally in the clients. I've sat next to him where he's like sweating. He's more worried about their placings and yelling and legs, and very much a hands-on coach who's deeply concerned, wants his athletes to win, wants the best for them. It's not like he's just taking on clients for their names or to bolster his image or his clout status. Now, Milos is not like that. Milos has a genuine love and passion for the sport. Just turned 16. He still is passionate about the sport as anybody I know. And for someone that's been competing and coaching for decades and decades, that's pretty rare. Yeah. I mean, give them credit. Good point. Fasting, feasting, beasting. Samson would not be the Samson we see right now had he not worked with Milos these past 2.5 years. Milos put these last 30, 40 pounds of muscle on him. Remember that. Samson's frame needed to be filled out to reach his full potential. Milos did that. Samson doesn't need to be any bigger now. He's got beautiful physique, plenty of round, full, dense muscle. Just needs that extra level of conditioning that he and Milos can't seem to achieve together. We're to the point. How is Samson's health? It can't be that bad. I mean, between him and his wife, I don't think they would take a huge risk to his health just to do this one last show in the UK before shutting it down for a little bit, resting, letting his body rest and recover, and then going into a little brief off season and then starting prep for the Olympia. So we don't know exactly what was wrong. Probably just like a flu. His immune system, like anyone's immune system, when you've been in prep for that long, remember, he went straight from the Olympia, didn't have much of a break after that. Then he had to get right back into prep for the Arnold. And he had done the Arnold that year too, remember? Plus a couple he did post-Olympia shows as well. So Samson's body was just thrashed, just beat. And his immune system was probably severely compromised. Then you're in an environment with expos and all backstage, and you're around thousands and thousands of people and their germs and viruses. You can't help it. These things are floating around in the air, shaking hands and people talking in your face. And it's a recipe for disaster. He caught something. And, it's very common. Talk to anybody who goes to the Olympia, the Arnold. I'm just talking about just spectators. If you go to the expo, a lot of people come home and get sick just because they're exposed to so much humanity in close quarters, especially walking through an expo. You're packed in there sometimes like sardines, like literally breathing down bring the back of each other's necks. It's pretty hard not to get sick. It's pretty hard not to get something. You have to have a killer immune system. Alberto Montejo, was Tom Platt's moon pose banned from IPB? Yeah, it was. I mean, for men. But the moon pose means you're basically you're facing your butt to the audience, your back to the audience, and you're bending over and touching your toes like you're mooning them. But it was really to show the hamstrings fully stretched, where you could see all the clear delineations between the biceps femoris and tendinosus, all that good, all the different heads of the hamstring, especially if you're lean and those are well developed. It was a freaky pose, but for some reason it was banned because it was considered obscene or inappropriate, which, now we have the bikini division and the wellness division. When they do their back is to the audience, they're sticking their butt out. It's not that different, but they're not bent over. But yeah, it's a banned pose. It's funny. I mean, I'd be curious to see what happened if somebody tried it, because it was banned. That was like 45 years ago they banned it. It's been so long. I wonder if they even remember that it's a banned pose, or if they even care. Dude, things have changed so much. I remember they used to have like a morality clause. There was a female bodybuilder, Erica Mess from Holland, Erica with a K, and their last name was MES. I think she did some topless photos in a magazine. I don't know if it was Playboy or what. Just topless photos, and she got banned for a while for that. And for that, that's what and you think about it. I mean, you guys are all Instagram. How many of these pro women in various divisions, if you go to their profile and go to Linktree, they have a fans only or an OnlyFans or something similar with explicit content. A lot of them do. And a lot of that explicit content is very explicit. I haven't seen it, but I mean, it can go so far as, some of them are just swimsuit pictures. Some of them are topless. Some of them are fully nude. Some of them are doing masturbation stuff. Some of them are showing sex with somebody else, a man, a woman, a few people. I don't know. So it's just funny. That was, it's a different era. We're talking almost a half a century ago. Geez. Yeah. 40 years ago. Yeah. Because that happened in the 80s, like mid 80s. So we're talking 40 years ago, pretty much. It's been that long. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So that pose has been banned. Did you guys hear Branch barking? I got my Branch shirt on. Yeah, want to see? It's my prize Branch shirt. He's a pit lab, pit bull terrier, Labrador retriever mix, 80 pounds. Today on our walk, we saw 3 deer. He wanted to go chase the deer. I would not let him. I would never get him back. I'm not going to do that. Oh, man. So, yeah, Samson, I wish him the best. Talked to him many times. Cool guy, very down to earth, humble, hardworking. Doing all these shows. People say he doesn't train that hard. Whatever. I mean, that's in the eye of the beholder. Training intensity. You want everyone. some people want every bodybuilder to train like Ronnie Coleman or Branch Warren, like they're always going to be using crazy heavy weights and screaming and throwing weights around. Not everybody trains like that. Not everybody needs to train like that. And don't judge these guys by how they train because it's their physique. If his physique was suffering because poor training, that's a different story. But the guy won an Arnold Classic, took third place at the Olympia, training the way he trains. So it can't be that bad. It works for him. Yeah. Like I remember Max Charles one time. I was like very critical of his training because he didn't like lock out on anything. And then, come to find out, research is showing stretch positional movements is more important than the fully contracted part of the movement. Although I think you should incorporate both. I don't think you should only do stretch part. Thanks for the great shirt. But, he was doing what worked for him. And look, the guy was a freaking monster. He was like Max. He still is. He's Max Charles, like 270 on stage with these freaking gigantic arms and shoulders, and chest and back. Whatever he does, however he trains, heavy for stretch position, works very well for him. Speaking of Branch, it's that time of day. I like to walk him around 2:30. It's about a 45-minute walk. He goes all over town, pees in many, many places, poops once, poops in the morning on his walk, poops in the afternoon on his walk. It's about a pound of poop, I guess. I pick it up. I'm a responsible dog owner. So I guess that's it, guys. I'm going to let you go. If you have any questions, comments, please leave them below here. I do respond to all of them. I appreciate all your feedback. Appreciate you guys watching. If you're not subscribed, please subs. We do it. Can I get my finger in the right place? Subscribe, like. This is hard. It's like backwards. Share. Please do that. Helps me out. I'm almost at 5K subs. I want to bring back the Ron Line report, the interviews, but I'm in my head. I don't want to do it till I have 5K subs, and I'm so close. It's funny. Someone said, don't call it Ron Harris Muscle. Call it just Ron Harris Report, like the website. I said, that sounds like it could be talking about the stock market or politics, the Ron Harris Report. No, I changed it to Ron Harris Muscle. That's my Instagram name. My website that I had for about 15 years, ronharrismuscle.com, which now please subscribe to ronharrismuscle.blog. Going to be getting that going real soon. And I want to start putting content on there, maybe get a forum going again on that. A lot of possibilities. So many possibilities you can do these days. So appreciate all your support, guys. It's Friday. Have an awesome weekend. And I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye now.